This is tutorial 5, question 2, which is example 4.6 in your textbook. So in this problem we have a venturi that is mounted at an angle. So you can see the flow is upwards. Point 1 is before the venturi and point 2 is at the throat of the venturi. We also have manometer tubes connected just in line with point 1 and point 2 to indicate the pressure by means of a height of a column of fluid. And we are given those heights above the reference point or the datum point, which is point 1. It's 1 meter in the first tube and it's half a meter in the second tube. We're also told that velocity at point 1 is equal to 0.5 times the velocity at 2. So it's half the velocity. The velocity doubles as it gets to point 2. So what we're asked to do here is to find the velocity at the throat of the venturi, point 2, the higher velocity, with the information that's given. So we're going to use the head form of the Bernoulli's equation. So writing it out as an equation, we've got P1 over gamma plus Z1 plus V1 squared over 2G. That's pressure, static height, and velocity at point 1 is equal to P2 over gamma plus Z2 plus V2 squared over 2G. So those three terms at point 2. But given the information that we have here, we have a static height of a column of fluid which we call a piezometric head. Not to be confused with a normal head of fluid. So this is essentially the piezometric head H1 is equal to P1 over gamma plus Z1. And this is what the tube is measuring. Alright, so at point 2 the tube is measuring the static height plus the pressure at that point. So just keep that in mind, which we call piezometric head. Substituting in the equation, we've got 1 meter, which is our piezometric head, plus V1 squared over 2G. So you can see that piezometric head is pressure plus the static height. And that equals 0.5 meters plus V2 squared over 2G. But we also know that V1 is equal to 0.5 V2, which is given to us. So we can then substitute that into the equation. 1 plus 0.5 V2 squared over 2G equals 0.5 plus V2 squared over 2G. So now we have only V2 squared or V2 as the unknown in the equation. 1 minus 0.5 is equal to V2 squared minus 0.5 squared V2 squared to g. Right, so we're simplifying. And we get 0,5 is equal to 0,75 v2 squared over 2 times 9,81 v2 then equals the square root of 0,5 times 2 times 9,81 over 0,75 V2 is equal to 3,62 meters per second.